I think that the Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Austin Reeves trio might be like the greatest offensive trio we've ever seen. I don't know. That might be pushing it a little bit. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but this is a team that has the potential to be unbelievably good on the offensive end of the court as they continue to get comfortable with each other. As long as their wings can make shots and dudes can make catch and shoot threes at a consistent basis, this team is going to be terrifying. There has never been a team with two shot creating threats like LeBron James and Luka Doncic, who can also pass the ball and are such willing passers at such a high level. I think this is a duo that could terrorize the league, not to mention the fact that you're going to have Austin Reeves as a tertiary option who's going to get the easiest shots he's ever gotten and is playing the best basketball of his career at the same time. Like, this Lakers team looks amazing. And no, look, I get it. It's the Utah Jazz they played tonight, but they were up, 30 points before the starters got pulled. Luka didn't even play that good. In all honesty, 5 of 14, 1 of 7 from 3, 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He looked rusty. He hasn't played since Christmas. Like, I'm not super shocked by that, but LeBron with an efficient 24 on 10 of 17, 7 rebounds, 8 assists. Austin Reeves goes out and has 22, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Again, very efficient basketball. Jackson Hayes didn't miss a shot, scores 12. Like, as a whole, there's just such a well-rounded team here. And I mean, Rui Hachimura, he's going to get the best shots he's ever gotten in his career. Dorian Finney-Smith goes 1 for 4 tonight, but same story. A lot of wide open shots tonight, and is going to get a lot of those shots. Now, he knows that. He's gotten them before playing with Luka Doncic, but he knows what this is going to be like. Jordan Goodwin, by the way, that dude might be a real rotation player. Like, he was good on the Wizards a couple years ago. Lakers signed him on a two-way. They need some guys who can be shot creators, kind of like that. At the guard position, I think he might have a real role. Like, I think this is a dude who might be a consistent rotation guy for this team. And look, they're missing some center spots, some center options for sure. Like, they're probably going to pick up a buyout center at some point. Who that will be, I'm not sure. Rumors of Alex Len are out there. I don't love Alex Len as a player. Like, I don't think he's a game changer at all, but he's a guy who could absolutely be a potential filler rotation big. And there's also going to be a lot of they're going to either play Jackson Hayes for about half the game. The rest of the game, they're just going to go small. And I think that's probably what it's going to wind up being. You're going to see LeBron at the 5. You're going to see Jared Vanderbilt at the 5. You're going to see stuff like that. And I think they're good enough offensively to where it will work. Now, without Mark Williams, and look, the Mark Williams situation, I made a whole video on that a couple days ago, and y'all can go watch that if you want to hear my thoughts on that trade being rescinded. But I think we're kind of at a spot here where, despite not having elite level bigs, number one, Luka and LeBron are going to make Jackson Hayes look like the best player he's ever looked in his career. I mean, he's got the easiest job he's ever had. Catch the ball around the rim and dunk the ball and play defense as hard as possible and try to rebound the ball. But you got two elite level guard rebounders in LeBron and Luka. You got so much other talent around them in terms of shot creation with Reeves, knockdown shot makers like Rui Hachimura, Dorian Finney-Smith, who shot the 3 ball really well and generally are very confident off the catch and shoot. And look, they're going to get the easiest looks they've ever gotten. I mean, Dorian's used to this, or at least he probably should be, because he played with Luka for much of his career. But Rui Hachimura has never had somebody like this. And the honest truth is, LeBron has never had somebody like this. As great as LeBron is, and as great as many of his teammates have been, Kyrie Irving, Dwayne Wade, Anthony Davis, amazing Hall of Fame players, he's never had a playmaker like Luka Doncic as his sidekick, and very few players in NBA history, especially star players like LeBron, have. I mean, you have one of the 3 or 4 best basketball players in the world in Luka, next to another top 10 player in the sport in LeBron, and an amazing amount of depth at the guards and wings around them. I think they can overcome a lack of center. I really do. I think this is a team that can absolutely be good enough to contend for a title. They've been leading by 20 or more in 9 of their last 11 games. They have won 9 of their last 10 games, including 5 in a row. They're 31-19 with 3 more pretty easy games headed into the All-Star break, which is another net positive for this team. If you look at the schedule going into the All-Star break, they got a few more easy ones upcoming before they get some tough matchups. But they got Utah before the All-Star break, and then Charlotte and Portland's coming out of the break. Well, Portland's been playing great, but those are 3 very winnable games. And then you head into Denver, who's good, but that's a winnable game. Dallas, look, Luka's going to be out for vengeance, number 1. Number 2, Dallas is incredibly injured. And I mean, there's a path here. Yeah, the schedule gets tougher over the last month of the season, but there's a path here to, they're 12 games over 500. They could easily be 15 games over 500 very soon. I think there's not just a path to a top 4 seed. There's a path to a top 2 or 3 seed. Like there's a path towards home court advantage in the first round and potentially home court advantage in the second round. I think as competitive as the Western Conference is and as loaded as the Western Conference is from about 1 to 12, this Lakers team outside of OKC, I still think, despite the lack of center depth, is probably the best bet right now to make it out of the West, because the offense that this team is going to have is going to be unlike anything we've really ever seen. There's just never been two guys like Luka and LeBron on the same team. And look at the pass. Look at a couple of the passes Luka throws tonight. Full court pass to LeBron. I mean, he's open, sure, but that's a pass not a lot of players are making, especially at that velocity and that accuracy for a wide open, easy layup. You see this pass right here, driving the ball, attacking downhill. And I mean, look, there aren't players making this type of pass. They don't have the vision and decision making and power and accuracy on their passes to make these type of passes. And I mean, he threw a cross court pass. I tried to find it on Twitter. I couldn't find it. He threw a cross court pass to Dorian Finney-Smith tonight that I think was more impressive than both of these passes. He's dribbling the ball on the left wing and he just one-handed whips the ball like sidearm cross court to the opposite corner to Dorian Finney-Smith for a catch and shoot 3. And Dorian missed the shot. He hesitated to shoot it for a second because he looked so surprised that the pass was even there. Like, and this is a dude who's played with Luka before, but I don't think he was really ready for that pass. And as a Lakers shooter with Luka Doncic having the ball in his hands, you're going to have to be ready at all times because the guy is going to find you and he's going to do it in ways that there are very few passers in the sport of basketball as good at passing as Luka Doncic. There are very few players in the history of the sport of basketball that are as good as passing him as LeBron James. When you put two unbelievably high-level playmakers who are both very unselfish on the same team, and they can both shoot at a high level, and they can obviously score the ball at a ridiculously high level, and again, you have the tertiary scoring of a guy like Austin Reeves, who we just saw can take over at any given night, 45 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, or whatever he had on Saturday against the Pacers. Like, offensively, you're going to have a real hard time finding answers against this team. Defensively, yeah, they might have some flaws, but I think the additions of Dorian Finney-Smith and Rui Hachimura and Jared Vanderbilt coming back healthier are going to help this team. I think Rui Hachimura is definitely locked in defensively and going to compete on a night-to-night basis. And I think you're probably, honestly, going to get a little bit more out of LeBron and a little bit more out of Luka on the defensive end of the court, just because they have a little bit less offensive responsibility individually. Like, I think the ability to share the offensive load on a night-to-night basis between Reeves, Luka, LeBron, the ability for those guys to all get legitimate, consistent rest and not have to kill themselves quite as much because of the amount of versatility of having all three shot creators at that level is going to put this team in a position to be healthy, rested, and well set up for March, April, May basketball and give themselves a serious chance to contend for a title. I'm not saying they're going to win a title. I'm not saying they're going to make the finals. I'm saying they're competitive, and I'm saying they're on the level of a lot of the other top contenders in basketball. Like right now, I think your tier 1 teams are Boston and OKC, still, in all likelihood. Your tier 2 teams, I mean, Cleveland probably still up there, although they've struggled more as of late. But then your tier 2 teams, I think the Lakers, Knicks, teams like that, like the Lakers are right at the top of tier 2. And it would not shock me if they won a title. I think it's absolutely possible, and they look just unbelievable. It'll be interesting to see if this continues. I know it was Utah, but it was an incredible start for a team that, I mean, it was a rusty Luka and they still completely and utterly dominated. I hope y'all did enjoy the video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. Be back with more NBA content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.